All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving into some seriously strange territory.
Ooh, sounds intriguing.
We're talking UFOs,
Love it. Yeah.
specifically a case from 1975
Okay.
in Mexico City.
Mexico City, huh?
That'll leave you scratching your head and wondering what in the world actually happened.
I'm already intrigued. Lay it on me.
But before we jump into this wild ride of a story,
Okay.
let's set the scene.
Right.
It's Mexico City, 1975,
Gotcha.
and our main character is a 20-year-old pilot
Wow. 20 years old.
named Carlos de los Santos,
Carlos de los Santos.
just cruising along on a routine flight.
So, like, just another day at the office for him
Pretty much.
until it wasn't, I'm guessing.
Exactly. So Carlos is enjoying a beautiful day, perfect flying conditions,
Race.
when suddenly he
Uh-huh.
spots something off,
Something off. Like, what do you mean?
approaching his small plane.
Approaching his plane. Okay, now I'm really curious.
And this weirdness, according
Yeah.
to Carlos,
All right.
was an elongated, oval-shaped object,
An elongated O.
gray-white in color.
Interesting.
And get this, he described it as being almost as long as his plane's wingspan,
Whoa, hold on. How long are we talking?
about 4 meters.
4 meters. That's like seriously big. That's not just some random speck in the sky.
No, this is a significant object.
Okay, so we have a giant, let's call it a thing, shaped like a tic-tac, hanging out near a small plane.
You got it.
I'm already getting nervous for this pilot.
You and me both. And believe me, it's about to get a whole lot more nerve-wracking.
Oh, I bet. So what happens next? Does this thing just, like, wave hello and fly off?
You wish.
Yeah.
This thing gets incredibly close to his plane.
Close? Like, how close?
Practically close enough to touch.
Close enough to touch? No way. I'd be freaking out.
I don't blame him, and just as Carlos is trying to process this,
Yeah.
another identical object appears on the other side of the plane.
Wait a minute, another one. So now he's got two of these things flanking him. This is getting out of hand.
You think that's where the story peaks?
I mean, it has to, right? What more could possibly happen?
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Of course.
As if 2 weren't enough.
Oh, no.
A third object suddenly pops into existence
A third one. Seriously.
and makes a beeline for his plane.
Okay, now this is just ridiculous. 3 of these things. It's like they're playing some kind of cosmic game of tag.
And naturally, Carlos tries to steer clear of this incoming object.
Yeah, I would too.
But get this,
What?
his controls completely lock up.
His controls lock up. You mean he can't steer?
He's stuck.
Oh, come on. That's like every pilot's worst nightmare.
It's the ultimate oh crap moment.
No kidding. So what happens? Does he just brace for impact?
Well, this third object barely misses his propeller. And then you're not going to believe this.
Okay, hit me.
It ends up underneath his plane.
Underneath, you mean like attached to it, like some kind of weird oversized hitchhiker?
Exactly.
What are the odds?
I know, right? And this, my friend, is just the beginning.
You're kidding me. There's more.
We haven't even gotten to the really bizarre part yet.
All right, I'm on the edge of my seat. Let's hear it. What happens next?
We'll have to save that for after the break.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's about to get a whole lot weirder.
All right, fine. But don't leave us hanging for too long.
You know I won't. We'll be right back after this.
I can't wait.
All right, so where were we?
Oh, yeah, we left off with Carlos and his,
Unusual passenger.
unusual is one way to put it. I think I'd be filing a complaint with the airline if I found a 4-meter UFO stuck to the bottom of my plane.
Yeah, no kidding. So
So what happens next? Does this thing just, detach and fly off into the sunset?
if only it were that simple.
Oh, boy.
Picture this Carlos's plane with this unidentified object stuck to its belly like some kind of bizarre barnacle. Starts ascending and, fast.
Ascending, like going up.
Straight up.
Okay, now I'm really starting to think this wasn't just a joyride for these UFOs. They were up to something.
It's giving me motion sickness just thinking about it. They reach a height of 3,500 meters.
4,500 meters. That's way above the normal altitude for a small plane.
Way beyond the plane's normal limits.
This is getting ridiculous. I mean, come on. What are they trying to prove?
And then just as abruptly, the plane stalls and starts plummeting back towards Earth.
Oh, no.
Talk about a roller coaster ride.
That's an understatement. So what happens? Does he manage to regain control? Or are we about to have a very tragic ending to our story?
You're going to want to hear this. Just as Carlos is bracing for impact,
Yeah.
get this, the 2 objects on the wings disappear.
Just vanish.
Gone.
No.
Like magic.
His controls magically start working again.
No way. Talk about convenient timing.
And he manages to pull off an emergency landing.
Wow, what a story. So he survives this crazy encounter with 3 UFOs, manages to land safely, And then what? Does he just go home and act like nothing happened?
Oh, no, he immediately reports the incident to the authorities.
Okay, so he tells his story,
Mm-hmm.
and what do they say? Yeah, right, buddy. We've heard that one before.
I wouldn't blame them if they did, but here's the kicker.
What's that? They find corroborating evidence in the radar data from the airport.
You mean there's actual radar data showing these UFOs?
They have it on record moving alongside his plane.
So it's not Carlos's word against the universe. Then we actually have proof that something was there.
Exactly, and this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears. Spill the beans. What does the radar data show?
The radar data revealed something even more bizarre just before vanishing.
Vanishing how?
The object makes a sharp, instantaneous turn,
A turn? Like how sharp are we talking?
a maneuver that defies all known laws of physics.
Defies the laws of physics. You mean like it moved in a way that's just not possible?
It basically made a 90-degree turn in 0 seconds.
Okay, now that's just showing off. What kind of technology could possibly do that?
That's the million-dollar question, and so far nobody has a good answer.
So we have a young pilot, a close encounter with 3 UFOs, a harrowing flight, and radar confirmation of something truly unexplainable.
But the story doesn't end there.
Of course not. There's always a twist. What else happened?
Remember how I mentioned that Carlos was only 20 at the time?
Yeah.
Well, a few days after the incident.
Uh-oh. This sounds ominous.
He gets a visit from a group of men in black suits.
Men in black suits. Like, seriously. Are we talking sunglasses and the whole shebang?
Straight out of a Hollywood movie.
This is too much. It's like they wanted to make sure his story sounded completely unbelievable.
And what did these mysterious men want?
Let me guess. They told him to keep quiet about the whole thing.
Bingo.
Classic. The old Men in Black routine. Because nothing says we're not hiding anything like a visit from a bunch of shadowy figures warning you to stay silent.
Right. And surprisingly, Carlos actually stayed silent for 30 years.
30 years. Wow. That's a long time to keep a secret like that. What finally made him decide to talk?
He finally shared his story publicly again in 2010.
Interesting. I wonder what prompted him to finally break his silence after all those years. Maybe he just figured, hey, the statute of limitations on alien encounters has probably expired by now.
Maybe he just got tired of keeping it to himself. But whatever his reasons, his decision to go public brought the case back into the spotlight.
And I bet it sparked a whole new wave of UFO theories and speculation.
You know, but regardless of his reasons, his decision to go public brought the case back into the spotlight and reignited interest in the whole incident.
So we've got a young pilot, 3 UFOs, a wild ride through the sky, radar data that backs up his story, a 30-year silence, and then a sudden decision to spill the beans. This is like a UFO mystery buffet.
And we're not done yet.
There's more.
Oh, yeah. This is where it gets really interesting because once the story resurfaced, it caught the attention of some very important people.
Oh, like who?
Including experts at NASA.
NASA. Wow, okay, so even the bigwigs at NASA were intrigued by this. I mean, they must get reports of UFO sightings all the time. What made this one so special that it caught their attention?
We'll dive into that right after this quick break.
Okay, tease. Don't leave me hanging.
So you were about to tell us why NASA got involved in the Carlos de los Santos case.
Yes. Well, it seems that even NASA's top minds couldn't resist a good UFO mystery.
I mean, who can blame them? It's not every day that you get a case with radar data and an eyewitness account that's this, well, out there.
Exactly. So NASA got involved, they analyzed all the evidence, and, well, let's just say they didn't exactly come up with a simple explanation.
I can imagine. So what did they say? Did they think it was a genuine extraterrestrial spacecraft? Or did they have some other theory?
They were particularly fascinated by those objects hovering near the wings, you know, how they moved so precisely and in sync.
Right, like they were coordinating with each other.
Exactly.
Yep.
And their conclusion was that this wasn't just some weather balloon or misidentified aircraft.
Okay, so what did they think it was?
They suggested that those objects might have been demonstrating advanced radar and computational capabilities far beyond anything we had back in 1975.
Hold on. Are they saying that these things, whatever they were using technology that was decades ahead of its time?
That's what they were hinting at, yeah. Of course, being NASA, they were careful not to jump to any conclusions.
Right, they have to maintain their scientific credibility. But it sounds like they were pretty stumped by this case. What about that impossible turn captured on radar? Did they have any explanation for that?
Nope. That one really left them scratching their heads. It just defies all known laws of physics. I mean, to make a turn like that, you'd need some kind of warp drive or something.
So we've got NASA experts baffled, radar data showing an impossible maneuver, and an eyewitness account that's been corroborated. Where does that leave us? Are we any closer to understanding what really happened to Carlos de los Santos that day?
Well, that's the beauty of it, isn't it? We're still left with more questions than answers. What were those objects? Where did they come from? What were their intentions? And why did they disappear so suddenly?
It's like they wanted to give us a glimpse of something extraordinary and then just vanish, leaving us to wonder if we imagined the whole thing.
Exactly. And that's what makes UFO cases like this so fascinating, so intriguing, and so frustrating all at the same time.
It's like the universe is teasing us with these hints of something beyond our understanding, but it's not giving us the full picture. Maybe it wants us to keep searching, keep asking questions, keep exploring the unknown.
That's a great way to put it. We might not have all the answers about the Carlos de los Santos case, but it certainly makes you think, doesn't it?
It definitely does. It makes you realize that there's still so much we don't know about our universe and the possibilities that might exist out there.
Mhm.
Maybe one day we'll have the answers, or maybe the mystery will remain unsolved forever.
Either way, it's a story that captures our imagination and reminds us that there's still a sense of wonder and mystery in the world. And that's something worth holding on to, don't you think?
Absolutely. So, to all our listeners out there, keep looking up at the sky, keep your minds open, and who knows, maybe you'll have your own close encounter someday.
And if you do, we'd love to hear about it. Until then, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the strange and unexplained.
Stay curious, everyone.